Hello, friends and family of First Lutheran Church. Pastor Jeff here, and I'll be preaching again this week at First Lutheran Church in downtown Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We are a congregation of the ELCA. First, let me apologize for the technical snafu last Sunday for our worship broadcast. We're now recording worship again on Sunday mornings during the live broadcast on radio at 8 a.m. The worship recording will still be shown on KSFY at 11 a.m. on Sundays, and will be available by 10 a.m. or so on our YouTube channel through our website. However, as many of you know, due to a technical glitch that allowed the recording to happen without any audio recording, we had to rebroadcast the previous week's worship service. I did record a short spoken word liturgy in my sermon from last week, and it is available on our website if you'd like to see it. Again, we apologize for this situation. We know how important the worship broadcast is for you, and we make every effort to ensure that it is available. For this week, we're in chapter 13 of the Gospel of Matthew with a very familiar parable from Jesus. It is the parable of the sower. It reads, "That same day Jesus went out of the house and sat beside the sea. Such great crowds gathered around him that he got into a boat and sat there while the whole crowd stood on the beach. And he told them many things in parables, saying, 'Listen, a sower went out to sow. And as he sowed, some seeds fell on the path, and the birds came and ate them up. Other seeds fell on rocky ground, where they did not have much soil, and they sprang up quickly, since they had no depth of soil. But when the sun rose, they were scorched, and since they had no root, they withered away. Other seeds fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked them. Other seeds fell on good soil and brought forth grain, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. Let anyone who has ears hear to listen. Hear the parable of the sower. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom and does not understand it, the evil one comes and snatches them away what is sown in the heart. This is what was sown on the path. As for what was sown on rocky ground, this is the one who hears the word and immediately receives it with joy, yet such a person has no root, but endures only for a while, and when trouble or persecution arises on account of that word, that person immediately falls away. As for what was sown among thorns, this is the one who hears the word, but the cares of the world and the lure of wealth choke the word, and it yields nothing. But as for what was sown on good soil, this is the one who hears the word and understands it, who indeed bears fruit and yields, in one case 100-fold, in another 60, and in another 30. Here ends the reading. This teaching parable from Jesus is very well known, even in secular culture. And each time we hear it, it often kind of gets us thinking about who we are in the story. We all recognize that Jesus is the sower and his seed is God's promises. And we try to figure out what soil type we are. And of course, we always want to think of ourselves as good soil. But this is not always true. Because at certain times of your life, depending on what's going on in your life or what's going on around you, you might be rocky soil, or the hard-packed path soil, or you may be being choked out by the weeds and so on. But I would like you to think about who it is that is the gardener in the parable. You cannot make yourself better in God's eyes, but he makes you better in one way, and that is by faith. But we also know that faith wanes to and fro. And who is this sower? This Jesus who throws his seed so carelessly around anyway? Well, it is the gardener, and that is God, who has prepared you to receive his promises. And some days we really don't pay attention to them, but other days they are the only good and certain thing that we can cling to. And the blessed assurance is that God is with you in and through all things, and this is our good news. It is God that works faith in you by cultivating your heart as good soil. Please plan to join us this week at 8 a.m. on 101.9 KELO-FM or at 11 a.m. on KSFY television. You'll also be able to stream our worship services after 10 a.m. or so on our YouTube channel available on our website. May God grant you joy this day wherever you are. Stay well, my friends.